A very warm welcome to Tech Mining. Shared components are application structures used in application pages. These structures are called shared components because you create them once and utilize them across all the pages in the application. In this video you will create a list comprising application menu options that will appear on every application page. Execute these steps to access the shared components page. Use either of the two shared components icons. First, we are going to play with the list's shared component. A list is a collection of links rendered using a template. For each list entry, you specify display text, a target URL, and other properties to control when and how the list entry displays. You control the display of the list and the appearance of all list entries by linking the list to a template. The default menu list, navigation menu, carries two items labeled, Home and Administration. In this step, you'll modify this list to add more application menu entries. These two entries created by the App Builder wizard to access the application Home and Administration pages. Create a new menu item named Setup. These Level 1 menu entries, also known as parent entries, will have sub-entries that will allow you to access products and customers modules. When you click the image class icon, this page is displayed from where you can select an icon for your menu item. Fill in the values for this menu entry and other entries as shown in video. This database icon will be displayed for the setup menu at runtime. This label named Setup will appear in the application menu. Since the setup menu entry itself is not associated to any application page, its target type is set to No Target. Create two more Level 1 entries. You can select any image from the list or input its name directly in the image class attribute. The target type and page properties inform Oracle Apex where to land when a menu item is clicked. In this case, we set page number to 4 to redirect to this page when the orders menu item is clicked. All the pages mentioned here will be created in subsequent videos. In the next step you will create submenus under this main entry to call respective pages. Using the same process you executed in the previous step, create the following Level 2 menu entries. The first two entries will come under the main setup menu item, while the reports menu will contain two child entries, Graphical reports and advanced reports. If you make a mistake while creating these menu entries, you can easily edit it, and click the Apply Changes button. Now create Level 3 entries. The first 6 entries will appear as submenu choices under Graphical Reports menu. Similarly, Monthly Review Report and Customer Invoice will be placed under Advanced Reports. All the previous settings will set up a hierarchical navigation for your application. Note that the page attribute for monthly review report entry is set to 0, because it will be invoked through a print request that will be configured in Part 9 video of this series. After making any modification in your application, you can test it immediately. Hit the Run Page button to see the application menu. In this step you will create a list named Reports List. The list will have several links that will lead to different reports in your application. Modify each entry by clicking its name in the List Details interface and add image references. Click the Apply Changes button after adding the image reference. After entering the first 5 list entries, add the remaining 6 entries. This is another utilization of lists. Rather than associating list items to pages in the application, you'll use it for visual representation. In our application, we will create an order using a set of wizard steps. It will be used while creating orders in Part 7 video. The no target value is set because this list is intended to display the current order wizard step, where the user is within the order processing, while not to call a page in the application. The list entry current attribute specifies when this list entry should be current. Based on the value of this attribute, you define a condition to evaluate. When this condition is true, the list item becomes current. This order process will be configured in detail in Part 7 video of this series. List of values, also known LOVs, is used to control input values and limits the user's selection. You can define two types of lists, static and dynamic. A static list of values is based on predefined display and return values. A dynamic list of values is based on a SQL query, and it is executed at runtime. In our application we have a products setup module, which will make use of 3 product categories. Each product in the application will fall under one of these categories. At runtime these entries will display in the order they are entered. Return value does not display, but is the value that is returned as a user selection to the application express engine. Similar to the categories list of value, this product LOV also limits users' selection by displaying product names with prices during order creation. Here you'll generate the list dynamically with the help of a SQL statement. Download source code from video description. Open Part 3 folder. The first column in the query, which concatenates product name and price, is used to display product information to the user, while the second column, product ID, is returned for backend processing. The function apex_escape HTML is used to protect against cross-site scripting attacks. It replaces characters that have special meaning in HTML with their escape sequence. This is a dynamic LOV and is based on a SQL select query to fetch state names from the demo states table. The query fetches both columns from the table. This LOV will be used in Part 5 video of this series, where it will be attached to an input form page item. This static list will be incorporated in the initial order wizard step, in Part 7 video, to select an existing customer for a new order or to create a new one. Application Express images are divided into two categories. First, workspace images, which are available to all applications for a given workspace. While second, application images, which are available for only one application. In this step, you'll add your application's logo to the images repository. The logo appears at the top of every page in the application. Note that you must use the correct case for the image file name and extension, else the logo will not be displayed at runtime. Run the application. The application logo and text should be displayed. In this video, you created all the components with relevant references required by the application. These shared components were created declaratively with the help of Oracle Apex Wizards to demonstrate the low-code nature of this technology and tackling redundancy. From the next video, you will create pages of your web application, starting with the home page, and will see all these shared components in action. Thanks for watching.